Heyo, what's crackalackin'? It's your friendly neighborhood spider. Wait, no, just kidding. It's just me, Lapis Lenny, here to help teach you how to make realistic water. So you've probably seen some of those super cool videos on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, where all the water and lava and stuff looks super duper realistic and thought, whoa, they must have like 5 3090s in order to run that mod. There's no way my computer could do that. Well, yes and no, because spoiler alert, those videos are actually fake. I mean, sort of, kinda. I mean, it's just really cool VFX, but like, it's still just like a cool video. So, I mean, I don't know what you really expect. But I digress. Today, I'm gonna show you exactly how to make your own cool videos. So, a warning, this is all done in Blender, which is a free software and super easy to learn. However, it does take a minute to learn how to do it. So, I would go ahead and learn those basics and then get back here. Otherwise, this video would be like an hour long and that would take forever to edit and all that. But let's get into it. Okay, so this is what we're gonna make. Ooh, real jazzy, huh? First things first, we need Fabric. So we're gonna go ahead and download it. It's basically an installation for your Minecraft launcher where you can run different mods, things like that, pretty simple. So you're gonna go ahead and download it. Bada bing, bada boom. Next thing we need is replay mod. Trust me, you need replay mod. You don't want to just screen capture it and then track it. It's a whole thing. So download the latest version or whatever version of Minecraft it is you're doing. We're gonna go ahead and download the latest one, right? All right, so we have them both downloaded. What we're gonna do, Fabric installer, just double click that and select whichever version you're doing. We're just doing the latest one, 1.19.2. Just hit install and okie dokie, we are good to go. Next thing we're gonna do, grab this replay mod. What you're gonna do, Command R, %appdata %\Minecraft, you know the drill. Open that up and drop it into your mods folder. If you don't already have a mods folder, just Control Shift New, create a new one, call it mods, we're good to go. I already have one, so don't need to do that. You can literally just make a new folder. So drag the replay mod into your mods folder, and we have it. All right, and now that we have it installed, you can see Fabric Loader right here. You want to make sure you're on this one. Go ahead and hit play, and as you can see, we are good to go. Now you'll notice we have replay viewer here, but we're going to ignore that for now. What you're going to do, open up single player, go to your world. All right, so now once you're in your world, you're going to create your whole thing, whatever you want. I have my simple little setup here. We're just going to throw the water in there, right? That's our whole video, is making the water fall in there and then it overflows and all that goodness. But before you do anything, what you want to do is escape, start recording. If it's not already recording, hit start recording. As you can see, we are now live. Well, not really live, but we're recording. So then you're basically just gonna do your thing. Now you don't actually need to place the water in the cauldron or anything. We can just hit F1 and hide everything because we're gonna add that in afterwards. So we're just gonna walk up, throw our water in there or whatever. Oh, look, there's water. Oh, wow, how about that? Okay, now we're gonna escape and stop recording. So now if we go ahead and exit out of here, save and quit to title. All right, so now that we're back here, we can go ahead and click this little replay viewer button and we have our save. We are going to load it and we are in it. You can see it is playing. We are in our POV and it's kind of funky looking, but let's go ahead and press P to stop it and then press T and you'll get your mouse. Then before saving it, we want to press B, which opens up our little spectate player here. And we want to hit this button and press escape to get out of there because we don't want our hands in this skirt. All right, so we're going to press T again, get our mouse back, which is awesome. And then you're going to select wherever you want the video to start. We're gonna start ours, we'll have it start right about, I'll have it start here, okay? So what we're gonna do, make sure this is at the very beginning and hit add time keyframe, awesome. So now this is how long our workspace is. And so we're gonna hit P again, go until we're done, wait a couple seconds. Oh, we added the water, that's awesome. All right, that's good. Now we're gonna hit add time keyframe right at the end. And so our entire clip is about 5 seconds or so, 6 seconds, okay? Now at that same spot, we're gonna add a spectator keyframe. And then after we do that, we're going to drag it all the way to the beginning and add another spectator keyframe. And what that does is during this time length here, it is going to track the camera, our POV in Minecraft. So now that we've done that, we're all good to go. Hit render camera path. And we're gonna scroll down. You can choose whichever preset encoder you want to use. PNG sequence is probably the best. You can also use MP4 though. Leave everything the same. The only thing you want to do is you want to make sure export camera path is checked, because that will export the camera path for us, so we won't have to manually track it in Blender, which is super cool. Then we also want to choose where we're exporting it to, output file. You can click that and then just choose where you want to save it. I already have it in the right spot for me, and we are going to hit render. And as you can see, 165 frames. And now we are done with replay mod. We are going to exit replay and then go back into your world. Because now that we are back in our world, there's something very, very important we want to do. Press F3 to open your coordinates and mark them down. You can see our exact coordinates right now. We are at 5, -59, 7. And after you've recorded those, you are good to exit out. But before we continue, did you know that literally 0% of my viewers are subscribed to me right now? That's crazy. You could literally be the first one. So if you're enjoying this video, you don't have to, but I would recommend, scroll down and just click that little subscription button. That would mean a lot to me, I mean, no pressure or anything, but like if you want to, I don't know. Let's get on with the tutorial, okay? So now that we are done with Minecraft, thank goodness, I hate that game. Just kidding, we're gonna hop in Blender. Now, I do want to preface this again by saying you do need some Blender experience. It's not a hard software or anything, but this video will be forever long if I have to explain every single thing I'm doing. So go watch some basic tutorials. I'll link some stuff in the description too. It's really not too tough if you know what you're doing. So let's get into it, shall we? Go ahead and delete everything in the scene and then change the frame rate to 30 FPS. Next, we're gonna go ahead and import our camera. So go ahead and open up the replay mods folder and you should see our camera, and we can just go ahead and import it. After that, we're gonna add our PNG sequence to our camera so that we can actually see what it looks like. And what do you know, our camera movements match up perfectly with our PNG sequence. Next, go ahead and hit Shift A and add an empty plane axis. Next, tap the N button and you should see our coordinates. Pull up those coordinates you wrote down from our Minecraft world and then go ahead and enter them in here. However, there is a weird bug, and so we actually need to take our Y coordinate, put it in our Z, and take our Z coordinate, invert it, and put it in the Y. So mine was 7, so I'm gonna make it -7. Then the very last thing you need to do is grab the camera and then the plane axis, hit Command P or Control P, and then pair it, but keep the transform, and then reset the plane axis to 0, 0, 0, the world origin. Now moving forward, there's actually a few different ways of achieving the same end result. Now this is the easiest way in my mind, and it basically involves recreating the simple environment in 3D space. Doing it this way means you don't have to mask or rotoscope anything, and that's, I hate doing that. So we basically just need to recreate our little Minecraft world in Blender, which isn't too hard. Just create a new mesh, resize it to be exactly 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter, and then we have our first block. We basically just have to duplicate this a bunch for the bricks, make a cauldron. It's not too bad. So you're gonna basically just have to duplicate this a bunch, make a ton of brick blocks and then a cauldron. Spend some time doing this. The more detailed you are, the better it's gonna turn out. So, take your time with it. I'm actually putting in the effort of, making our cauldron look somewhat realistic. It doesn't have to be perfect, but having some accurate shapes doesn't hurt. Now, of course, we need to add a massive ground plane because we need a ton of grass, so go ahead and do that now and scale it all the way up. Now in our shading tab, I'm basically just gonna make a simple texture here. I'm just gonna throw a stone brick texture into it and make it look real nice and pretty. And by nice and pretty, I mean I'm using default settings and just putting an image texture on it, but let's not get hung up in detail, shall we? Now, if you notice, our bricks are kind of facing the wrong way, so I'm just going to add a mapping node and then a texture coordinate node, scale it up by 4 on all the axes, and then just rotate it 90 on the Z. For the cauldron, that's gonna be a little bit more work because you have to UV unwrap it and all that garbage, which isn't too fun to show. So I'm just gonna make a basic material for it. And then for the grass, same exact thing, just scale it up to like 500 or something insane. Now for the cool part, the thing you all want to see, the water, just go ahead and make a new sphere and resize it a little bit and position it in just the right spot. Then head up to Object, Quick Effects, and then click on Quick Liquid. Select the liquid domain which was created and just resize it so it covers our entire space here. After you've done that, you can go ahead and select one of the bricks, go ahead and add a fluid modifier to it, and make sure it's set to Effector. Then go ahead and select all of the other bricks and hit Ctrl L and then copy modifiers. Make sure you also make the cauldron an effector as well. Then after you've made everything effectors, go ahead and click the sphere and turn it from geometry to inflow. Then go ahead and keyframe use flow on whichever frame you want the water to start flowing. Move forward 1 frame, uncheck it, keyframe again, move backwards 2 frames, uncheck it again, and keyframe. With our domain selected, change our type from replay to all, then go ahead and in liquid tab, click the mesh checkbox, and then go up to particles and check all of those as well. This is also probably a good time to hit bake. After it's done baking, you can see an unfortunate side effect of this technique is that we're actually gonna have to render in 2 passes. The first one, up until the water hits, you want to render with the liquid domain disabled in render view, and then you want to render the rest of it with enabled. So in my case, I want to render from frame 1 to 50 with the liquid domain turned completely off, and then from 50 on, I want to render it with it turned on. But we're not ready to render yet. First, make an icosphere, drop it down to only 1 subdivision, we need this thing tiny as heck, and then make another one. Name one of them bubbles and one of them foam. With bubbles selected and in the shading tab, we are going to create a new material, call it bubbles, and then get rid of that principled BSDF and replace it with just a glass BSDF. Change the IOR to 1.333, and then you can change the color just slightly. We're going to do the same exact thing with the foam. We're going to create a new foam material, except we're going to use an add shader to combine both a diffuse and also a glass BSDF. Oh, by the way, put those both in a particles collection. Just make a new collection called particles. Then we're going to go into the particle system for our domain, click on our foam, change it from halo to object, and then select foam, and do the same exact thing with the bubbles, except bubbles. Also, go ahead and make sure you resize them because they need to be super duper tiny, like bubble size, tiny. Then for our foam, instead of an object, we're going to set it to collection, and then for the collection, we're going to select particles. So it's going to render both of them. Also, go ahead and change EV to cycles in the render engine because it's got to be cycles. Now is also the perfect time to add a new light to the environment, probably a sun. And after that, we're all good to hit render. But remember, we do have to render in 2 passes. So I'm going to render from frame 1 to 50 with the liquid disabled, and then from frame 50 to 164 in my situation with it enabled. Let's go ahead and render now. And if you've done everything correctly, then you should be able to drop it into your editing software and come up with something like this. But if you want to go above and beyond, you can simply drop in some green screen footage of throwing some water on the ground, and this is what you come up with. Now hopefully yours turned out just as impressive, and you can go ahead and use your little videos to impress all your friends and convince them that you have the most powerful gaming computer in existence. Now if you have any questions or concerns, or any questions in regards to how to make your water look even better, go ahead and leave them down below and I'll try and get back to you. But that's about all I've got for you guys today, so I'll catch you later, my dudes and dudettes, and as always, stay excellent.